Hey guys, it's Davin with Elements Lawn and Snow and also Elevated Waste Solutions. Today we're just going to give you a walk around on our Peterbilt 536. It's an under CDL truck. It was my first Hooklift truck, and I just want to kind of share the things that we did to make it unique to us and also recommendations I might have if you're looking at building your own truck. All right, so first and foremost, it's a Peterbilt 536, gross vehicle weight of 25,999 under CDL. This truck is a 2025. It was built by Rubel Truck Sales in Indiana. And you'll notice right away it's got a wrap on it that we had our guy do. The truck's white underneath, but it's got a gray, matte gray wrap with some topo kind of going through it. We added the black American racing wheels, which just gives it a nice look. And honestly, they're way easier to keep clean than aluminum wheels. So we really like those on this truck for going in and out of the landfill. And yeah, coming down the side, we did the Sherco SWAT tarp. What's really nice about this tarp is the arms will hydraulically expand and retract, so we can cover cans from 14 feet to 18 feet, and it sits flush on the back of the can. Added the American flag tarp from United Tarp Systems. That just adds a really nice touch. The stock tarps on these trucks, I think, just don't look the best, so we added that. Rubel painted our jib and our expansion joints here, as well as our rollers, all green to match our dumpsters. I get a lot of compliments on that. However, I probably won't do it again, just because for one, on these rollers, it's basically just that. And this truck only has 7,000 miles on it, so not a lot of use. It does look good on the hook, but as far as if I'm in a hurry or if I have time, I'd probably do it. But if I need the truck, we're just gonna roll with it. Back here is Rubel's custom bumper. So on a lot of these trucks, the bumpers are pretty much flat, and they had kind of extended it, if you will, so I can carry 18-foot containers on this truck, which is pretty long for a single axle truck. 18 foot gives me about a 2-foot overhang on the back, and which is really nice for our 20s. 30s, it's going to be too heavy regardless on this truck, but our 20 footers are 18 feet long, and then we can really bring the sidewalls down on the 20s to about 54 inches, and the contractors love that for side loading them. So that was the main purpose of me wanting to do 18 footers. And again, we can do 16s flush here, and then 14 is 2 feet in. With the 14 footers, you do have to jib it back to be able to dump, or else you would obviously dump on the truck here. So it does work, but it's kind of annoying when you forget you have a 14-foot can and you get out to open the door and you didn't jib back. So you gotta jib back and then be able to open your door and latch it and then dump, but it does do 14 to 18-foot cans. We're gonna take a little break from the actual walk around of the truck and show you guys the truck in action. We have a dumpster we gotta go pick up, and it's funny, Case and I were just talking, it was the last time he was out here in February, I believe, was where we got a video of us actually taking this dumpster to his house. So it's been there for 5 months, and they're finally done with it. So we made some good money on this dumpster. I wish it was actually in inventory, because I would have made way more than it's sitting on this job, but it's a great contractor, so we're gonna go get it off this house finally. You can see how long this can's been sitting here. A little dirty. I always like to hook on the can first and then get out, do a walk around, make sure the door is latched, take a look in the dumpster, see what's in there. This one's ready to go. Don't see anything sketchy right off the bat, so we should be good. So we'll get it loaded on the truck and get out of here. These are a must. I mean, that would have left some pretty serious rust stains in that driveway. So definitely recommend the rolly skates. For the contractors, I just include them. I mean, I'm not gonna leave rust marks on their client's driveway. So all our contractors, it's just a service we offer to them. Get this tarped and head to the landfill. All right, let's get out of here. Over on this side, we do have it wired up for a 1,000 gallon brine sprayer. We do use it in the winter every now and then. My thought was to dual purpose the truck, but honestly this truck's pretty busy and there's not a lot of times we can really have time to switch the sprayer on and off. So we'll probably find a different truck for the sprayer to live on during the winter. And honestly, I do not really want brine anywhere on this system. So I had it on there one time and I saw enough to probably not put that on there anymore. I did forget to mention on the other side, I do have a toolbox. I added a second toolbox over here and we basically have our tarp in here, sawzall and some chains. The tarp only had to be used one time, but we did have a scenario where this tarp got hung up on a can and it actually broke a couple pieces of the tarp that we had to fix. So it's nice to have a tarp where we could actually tarp the can and at least get it off site and get it to the dump. Hand tarping is not ideal, but it was nice to have to be able to do that. And also our 7-yard concrete bin, we have to usually put a tarp on it by hand just because the sidewalls on it are so much shorter that this won't do anything. So we don't use that dumpster much, but it's good to have the option. The sawzall, there's always wood on these contractor jobs sticking up. So sometimes it's easier just to cut off that piece, throw it in the dumpster rather than trying to reorganize the entire dumpster. And then on the other side, I just have a hydraulic spill kit and then a ratchet strap if I ever had to like strap a back door. So just if something was to break, I try to have something to kind of solve the problem. But if I'm missing something, which I think I probably am because there's not a lot in these toolboxes, let me know in the comments what's something I'd want on our trucks. I'd really appreciate the feedback. This side I have the rolly skates and then I just have a couple cones sitting on top of there. If we got to place them in a dumpster in the road or something, I'll try to put a couple cones out. And then last thing over here is our shovel holder, which it does do a shovel and a broom, but I will say with a broom, it's too wide and when I put one on there, it hit the back of the cab and it would be rubbing if I drove down the road like that. So I opted to take that out. The shovel, obviously, it honestly works just fine for scraping out a can or grabbing a couple things that are on the side of a dumpster. That might be a good idea too, is if we put like a leaf blower in one of the toolboxes, then we could blow out the dumpsters, something like that. But it's very rare I need to scrape out a dumpster, but if I do, that honestly works just fine. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. The only other thing is the truck does have strobe lights all the way around. We have 4 in the front, 2 on the sides, 2 on the back gantry, and then 2 in the rear bumper. All right, guys, so hopping in the cab of the truck, air ride seat, which is a must for going in and out of landfills. This truck is set up with PTO, obviously, and then this is our controller for operating the pal finger. So basically, to operate this, you'd hit your PTO and then start this controller, and then these are our jib functions. So jib back, and then this is to bring the hoist back. That's how you'd pick up a can, and then jib forward and then bring our hoist back. When I first started, I wasn't entirely sure how Hooklifts work, so I'll just kind of briefly go over this for a second. If you just want to dump the can, you wouldn't do anything with your jib. You would just go up, and that's what's called dump mode, and that would dump it, and then you'd bring it back down. If you jib back, that's what actually unlocks the dumpsters, or unlocks the hoist. So then when you go back, it pivots, and you can pick up or drop off a can. So that's the purpose of the jib. These buttons don't do anything. I wish they would just get rid of these completely. Our other trucks got the hydraulic controls, the levers, and honestly, I'm a fan of that. I would prefer just having the levers than the controller. This thing also beeps at you when you run it. It's just the little things. I just really like the controllers. It's easier to not be looking at that, and the levers, I mean, it's easier to just kind of use your levers and not worry about the controller. So other than that, it's pretty much laid out like every other truck in here. We do have a backup camera that's built into it, and then just a spare where our strobes are. Other than that, it's all the same as any other truck in here. All right, so the hoist on this truck is a Palfinger T22, so it's a 22,000 pound hoist. Really have no complaints with it. We've had just one issue. One of the cylinders went out on it, so that was the only thing. Other than that, it's been completely fine, and Palfinger dealt with the cylinder right away, completely warranted. They got it to us quick. Dealer swapped it. We all know things are going to happen with these trucks. It's all about how it gets taken care of. So as long as people are responsive and solve the issues, I'm fine with things every now and then. So, all right, so for the tarp system, like I said, this is the Sherco SWAT tarp, and it's electric over hydraulic tarp, so you get this remote with it that can run the entire tarp. You can also run the tarp here with just the manual buttons there, which we prefer, honestly, using that, just standing outside. This is nice for running in the cab, but this is how I ended up breaking the tarp the one time. I retracted it from the truck, and it was hung up on the hook, and I didn't realize it because I was in the truck, and I went up, and some damage was caused by doing that. So ever since then, honestly, we run it outside here. You can see what's going on. You can get it perfectly level with the back of the can. We have to get out anyways. Like after it's tarped, you need to walk around and make sure everything's good before you get on the road. So to use this, convenient at times, but also we actually don't use it much anymore. So on the remote, you hit on, and then if you just want to cover, it looks like that. And then to bring those arms in, if you had a shorter can, you'd hit retract. And then the last function would be your gantry. So if you had a taller can with some taller sidewalls, you could bring that up. And also get that off the hook. That's how you get it off the hook, so you're not rubbing a hole in your tarp there. And then it's got some work lights on the back as well for picking up cans early morning, late nights. All right guys, so that wraps up the walk around on our Peterbilt 536. Again, this was my first Hooklift truck, and honestly, it's been a really, really good truck. I debated for a long time going with an F600 or a Chevy 6500, and I'm so glad I spent the money to go with this truck. Honestly, being able to run the 16 to 18 foot lengths, I think will help grow your business way quicker than, you know, running 14 foot dumpsters with higher sidewalls. People just do not like the high sidewalls, especially if you want to get into commercial. Residential, it's not a big deal. They're not as picky, but the commercial stuff is all about how short the sidewalls can be so they can have it easy to side load the dumpster. So make sure you subscribe. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you have any other questions about this truck. I'll make sure I'll answer them. We have another video coming out on our newest truck, which you will not want to miss that one. That one is a much larger truck than this. So if you want to see that video, make sure you subscribe, and that video is going to come out shortly after this one. So I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next one.